One of the worst parts of going to a theme park is waiting in line. Most likely, if there's a ride you want to go on, you're going to have to wait a little while for it. But what if I told you that there's a way to take those long waiting times and drastically reduce them? It's free, tons of people don't know about it, and it can turn a day of waiting in long lines into one where you'll be able to go from ride to ride without having to wait more than 10 minutes. But what is this seemingly too good to be true method? Well, I present to you the single rider line. This can be a lifesaver at theme parks, but there's a lot of misconceptions about this concept, so what I'm going to do today is break it all down. What does the single rider line do? How does it work? And how can you best take advantage of it and utilize it to its full potential so you'll never have to wait in a long line again? Let's find out. First, let's get a general idea of how a single rider line works. In order to fill up a train on a roller coaster or pretty much any other theme park ride, parties are assigned to specific rows. Eventually, there will be a point where no more parties can fit on the next train. Usually, this will lead to a few empty seats since it'd be rare that the train fills up perfectly, so this is where a single rider comes in. People from the single rider line are then assigned to occupy the remaining seats, ensuring that every seat on the train is filled. So what does this mean for you? Well, to start off, there are two main downsides if you decide to wait in a single rider line. First, if you're in a group with people, you're almost definitely not going to sit together. There's nothing preventing your group from waiting together in the single rider line, you just won't be next to each other on the ride itself. Second, the single rider line can move really slow. In order to demonstrate this, let's take a train that seats 28 riders as an example. People from the standby queue will attempt to fill the train, and then single riders will come in. This will often lead to only a few single riders being on a train, let's hypothetically say 4 out of 28. As a result, the regular queue will move much faster due to many more people riding from that line than the single rider line. But as I've often found, those downsides pale in comparison to the one huge benefit of the single rider line. Your wait time will almost certainly be much shorter. Even though the line itself moves slower, the fact of the matter is that nearly everyone waits in the standby queue due to the fact that they want to sit together or just don't know that another option exists. I've seen tons of people at a park by themselves, the same people who the single rider line is designed for, waiting 10 times longer in the standby queue while I lap a coaster over and over again using single rider. It's really that effective. However, it can be a big risk. I'd say that if it's an option and the standby queue is long, definitely give it a try. The longest it'll be in that case are 2 or 3 times shorter than the regular line. Like I said, there were cases for me when standby was an hour plus and single rider was less than 5 minutes. But if the standby queue is short, like less than 15 minutes, you're probably better off waiting there instead. The effectiveness of the single rider line all depends on the number of people in each party, which is impossible to determine, so if it's a short line anyway, I personally wouldn't take the risk. I found that single rider in general works better on roller coasters with 4 across seating or more, and not as well on flat rides as a whole or coasters with 2 across seating. Of course, single rider isn't an option at every park, and not every ride at one of those parks will have single rider. If you're planning on visiting a theme park, check that park's website and it'll probably tell you what attractions there have it. A lot of the biggest theme parks around the world have this feature on their most popular rides like the Disney parks, Universal, and lots of Six Flags, Merlin, and Wallaby parks. Like I said, make sure to check if the park you're planning to visit has single rider lines, and if so, which rides at that park do as well. It'll do you a lot of good. By the way, every ride I've shown up on screen is one with a single rider line, so keep that in mind. Most of them are coasters that I've personally used single rider for, and for most of those, it's been a big success. So I hope you give some thought into using single rider lines because it can make a huge difference in wait time. I've been to parks when they were slammed, but been able to get on rides super quickly because of that trick. If you don't mind not sitting with other members of your party, it's easily the best tip I have to avoid waiting in line. In some cases, the single rider line is even shorter than the paid skip the line option. It's crazy and definitely worth trying out if you want your day at a theme park to be more about riding and less about waiting. That'll do it for this video. It was definitely a shorter one. There's obviously many more tricks to avoid long lines at theme parks, but in this video I just wanted to go over one major one. If you use single rider lines, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments or go ahead and join the Discord server, link in the description. While you're at it, it'd be much appreciated if you like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned to the channel for more coaster content. Goodbye.